Fellow delegates, and again, like other speakers, it's good to see so many young people in the hall. And a very warm welcome to the pupils and students from St Patrick's. I hope you have a good and worthwhile conference while you're here. Delegates are young people, and as a result, our economy stand on a precipice. We have two choices as a region. We can invest in our young people, bring meaningful training and employment, and equip them with the skills to compete in the global economy. Or we can continue to do what we are doing, piecemeal, largely reactionary, and without long-term vision. 1 in 4 of our young people are out of work. Up to 46,000 of our young people across Northern Ireland between the ages of 16 to 24 are in need. That awful abbreviation, not unemployment, education or training. Our society cannot afford this, our economy cannot afford this, and our communities cannot stand for it. With welfare reforms coming in next year, make no mistake about it, there will be a tsunami of further young people coming down the track. The Executive have pledged 5.8 million to a new youth employment scheme, building on previous schemes, but with more support for those who are classified as needing that education, employment or training. We are looking again at a prospect of a lost generation here, and let's not sugarcoat the problem. Plus the extra funding allocated this week of the 200 million the Executive announced is just a drop in the ocean. We really need joint initiatives by the Executive to tackle this massive problem of unemployment across Northern Ireland. The young people here today, those who have taken tours in Parliament buildings, those who can't get access to their chosen university, those who struggle to upskill, those who want to learn and have work experience, are all being failed. They deserve better. Extra funding we have seen announced this week as part of the Barnett consequences seek to address issues within the economy, some that affect university places, skills and employment. It seems that the Executive now is waking up to realise what the SDLP have been saying all along. People are hurting badly. We need a plan. What we don't need is political protectionism, the silo mentality, and the failure to take brave decisions that will benefit the people as opposed to rocking the boat. Alex Edward, our own Minister, has made and taken those brave decisions. He refused to slash pensions. He took on difficult political planning decisions. Why can't the others in the Executive do the same? Why can the others in the Executive not prioritise real progress for the long-term unemployed, not just when they receive additional money as a result of underspend in other departments? The SDLP youth, and there's many of them in the chamber today on the floor, have commissioned a survey on youth unemployment, and I applaud them for that. They have crisscrossed the north and have sought the views of young people across all the constituencies. Sometimes we forget that behind every number and every person, there's a real person. There's an experience, there's an untapped talent. They have sought to expose that while others have sought to gloss over it. I look forward to the youth group's findings as a result of that survey, and I recommend the motion to the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Brian, Gareth, you're welcome.
Thank you, Chair, just for the opportunity to speak. On behalf of the youth group, I would very much echo the comments that have come from Pat, the spokesperson on the issue. The youth group, when deciding campaigns to look at in the last coming year, decided that the biggest single issue that faced young people was youth unemployment, and with particularly alarming statistics like 21% of 16 to 24-year-olds being NEET, as Pat referred to, was particularly alarming. And this, again, as Pat referred, is extremely detrimental to the economy going forward, and indeed to the development of skills in the labour market at every level. So the youth group decided to write a briefing paper and launch a survey on this issue, and the aim was to get across different towns and cities in the north and ask young people what they thought about a various range of issues. And again, just to echo, it is the view of the youth group, as Pat said, that what is needed is a cross-departmental long-term strategy, not short-term measures, a long-term strategy that aims to look at this issue from a very early age and indeed build it into each stage of the labour market. So I would second this motion, and I hope the members in the room will pass it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Gareth. The next speaker that I have on my list here is Daniel Henry. Daniel?
Thank you, Chair. Conference, I wish to move this motion for the creation of a government-backed youth guarantee for Northern Ireland. In May, the European Parliament backed the creation of measures to tackle youth unemployment. Those measures, due to Conservatives in Parliament, were non-specific, and now, as part of the PES and with our allies in the S&D group, we must move with the Irish presidency in the EU next year in implementing the youth guarantee. It will require implementation and funding both from the EU and the Northern Ireland Executive. The Youth Guarantee aims to help young people between the ages of 18 and 25 who have been out of work or education for 4 months and help them back into work and decent employment. This is done by offering young people work placements and internships, further training their education. Especially in the case of young people skilled in the construction trades, these should be offered specific options to retrain and reskill in other sectors. The Youth Guarantee is all about offering flexibility and pragmatism to young people. Moreover, the Youth Guarantee would open up new avenues to young people, offering them training and advice and starting up their own businesses. The Youth Guarantee does not promise employment. It does not promise a good wage or a future career. With conference, that is not what young people are asking for. They are not asking to be spoon-fed jobs. They simply want their chance to take their place in work like their mothers and fathers. They simply want to be able to compete. The Youth Guarantee must form part of a much broader social floor under which no one in society should be allowed to fall. A floor which protects and supports people in times of hardship. It is that we as a party have fought for, and is what we must now relentlessly pursue. This generation, my generation, through its own commitment and courage, will not allow itself to be reconciled to a future of immigration and destitution. We will lead this country to a new birth of economic prosperity. We will reimagine the North, we will reimagine this party in order to achieve it. It will be my generation which will lead it. Conference, do not let them slip away. Commend this motion to conference. Thank you very much.
Could I thank both of the young people involved in participating in the debate. It will be an important subject matter for the parliamentary group going forward. Certainly we have a major debate on the economy with job promotion on Monday in Stormont, so it's one that we will be consistent with and pursuing. Certainly as our only member on the Appointment and Learning Committee, it will be a priority issue for myself among a number of other issues, including the EMA, which other members are going to speak about now. But Chair, I formally move the motion.
Thank you, Pat. Those in favour of compensating motion 1, please raise their card. Now to motion number 4, because motion 1, 2 and 3 fell as a result of the passing of compensate 1. Now on to motion number 4, in the name of the Parliamentary Assembly Group, and our Deputy Leader, Dolores Callias, to propose. Welcome, Dolores, to the podium, please.
Good afternoon, delegates. I just want to speak briefly on EMA. As you know, there's another decision to be made by the Executive in relation to EMA, and there are 3 different parts of it. It is one that is £10, I think, and £20, and about £27 and £30, depending on family income. And there was a survey done amongst some young people, I think about 1.5 years or so ago. But as like everything else, it depends what the question, how it's framed, the answer that you get. And the Executive, unfortunately, is relying upon the survey results, which did not ask the right question, and were told the answers were given in different times. So many more people have lost their jobs as a consequence of the closures of a number of firms, both in construction and manufacturing. And of course, we also know of teachers and nurses having been made redundant, a lot of jobs not being filled that were in temporary positions. So family circumstances right across the north have suffered. We often hear of the educational excellence of our schools, and that's quite right, but still in some areas up to 40% of our young people are leaving education without the basic 5 GCSEs. And any young people that I speak to, and I'm sure many of you have met with them as well, say that AMA is essential for the essentials of life and not the luxuries. And therefore, conference, as the executive prepares to make a decision around AMA, I ask that you join with the Assembly Group in requiring and calling on the executive to retain AMA as a measure which helps to encourage our young people to stay at school and helps them in actually affording the basic necessities that school life requires them to have. Thank you.
Thank you, and to second the motion, we have an MLA for South Down, Sean Rogers. Sean, please welcome Sean to the podium. Former principal of a school in Silthiel, he's well enlightened in educational matters.
Good afternoon everyone, and a special welcome to our students from St Patrick's. When I was young, my parents would have said to me, a bit of education is easy carried. So I have pleasure in seconding this motion. AMA allows our students to continue in education so they're well equipped for the world of work. Things are difficult out there today, but our young people need the right skill set. Education must be inclusive. It's a right for all, not just those who can afford it. So I have pleasure in seconding the motion again.
Thank you, John. Any other speakers on this motion? If not, can we proceed into a vote on the motion? Those in favour of the motion number 4, please, when the Assembly Group name. Thank you. Those against? Motion is carried. Thank you. We're on to motion number 5, in the name of the Youth Group. And I have here as a proposer for that, Kelly Boyle, okay? Motion number 5. The Holy Lands and all that.
Sure, thank you. Delegates, as you can see, motion number 5, I'm here to propose motion number 5. As a student for the past 3 years in Belfast, the Holy Lands hasn't had the best of reputations, and we're here to ensure as a youth group and that the SDLP fully supports our motion today. What we are calling for, delegates, is that the Holy Lands become an official student village, and we are minded to accept Balmoral's amendment number 2 on the motion. Antisocial behaviour in the Holy Lands has been on the increase, but in recent years there has been relevant action taken there by the Queen's, University of Ulster, the Belfast City Council and the PSNI to try and combat antisocial behaviour. What we are looking for is that whenever if they were to become an official student village, that all these sort of agencies and universities will work together to ensure that antisocial behaviour can be eradicated to a minimum level. So what we're asking for in the motion is that everyone can meet up together and ensure that any students that are living in the area that are at the universities are bound by a contract to say anything with the university, like they are at the moment, but with further restrictions to ensure that all residents in the area can live peacefully and they can attain a good education whilst at university. So we wish that the motion will call on the SDLP to support the youth group motion on an official student village in coordination with the government agencies and the universities to ensure that the Holy Lands area moving forward will become an antisocial free area.
Thank you very much, Kay. Can I have a seconder, please? Mr. Brian Waters of Kitty. Brian, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Chair. As a resident of the Holy Lands myself, I know all too well the challenges that we face on a daily basis. But as you can see from St Patrick's Day, any holiday, it's splashed across the media and young people are given a bad name. And I personally don't think it's fair. A bad few should not spoil the rest of us. Don't tar us all with the same brush. But the Holy Lands itself is a sort of microcosm of society. There is poverty, there is antisocial behaviour, there are some real problems. Queen's University Belfast did a straw poll just only 2 weeks ago, and 46% of students living in the Holy Lands describe themselves as living in poverty. Now, in this day and age, I don't think this is acceptable. The students must do something, yes, but then again, we must look at the issue of landlords. Last year, a video went viral on YouTube. It was a sound recording of a landlord kicking in the door of a student house, and the boys were actually from Armagh, funny enough. But students shouldn't be treated as second-class citizens or second-class letters, so to speak. So Queen's University Belfast, University of Ulster Jordanstown, Belfast City Council, and indeed the Assembly and all associated agencies must throw their weight behind this issue. We can no longer bury our heads in the sand. Thank you very much. I'm very glad to second this motion.
Thank you, Brian. Now, those of you that are looking at your conference packs will notice that we have 2 amendments in this section. So Peter, can you enlighten us, please?
To also support.
Thank you very much, Peter. Can I have someone to propose the amendment from Chronic Branch, please? Nobody here with that will fall, okay?
Chair, I'm speaking on behalf of the amendment, and I think there's a little bit of confusion. The Balmoral amendment is specifically designed to eliminate the idea of a student village in the original motion. With all due respect to the youth group, and it's simply because as a South Belfast branch, students are welcome, of course, in the Holy Lands, but we have to bear in mind that there is a core of several hundred permanent residents. And if the status of a student village was established, I think the position of the permanent residents of the Holy Land area, which comprises 2 wards in South Belfast, spread over 2 wards, it would be a very ambiguous status indeed. And it's not fair to the people who live there the whole time. I mean, students are welcome, but they're only there for a few years. And I have seen young students on TV saying, oh, all the permanent, this is a student area. It's not a student area. They are guests in the area. And they are welcome, but they should respect the permanent residents. We are specifically opposed to the idea of a student village because its status is unambiguous and it isn't defined. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. So, speaking on motion, amendment number 2. If not, can we go to, first of all, a vote on amendment number 2 by Balmoral Branch? That is to retain the Holy Lands as a mixed community area. Those in favour of the Balmoral amendment, please raise their. Thank you very much. Those against it? None. So the amendment is passed, so that is now incorporated and replaces the last paragraph of the motion number 5. Isn't that right? So we now take a vote then on motion number 5 as amended by amendment number 2 from Balmoral. Those in favour of motion number 5 as amended, please. Thank you. Those against? Motion number 5 as amended is now passed. Thank you very much. It's now 5 minutes past 3. We're going to have another debate on this section, or another motion, motion number 6. And the proposed motion number 6 is Pat Ramsey.
I'll try not to be as long as them. One very close to my own constituency, the McGee campus. Although John comes not here, in many ways that was what brought John came into politics. In 1966 was the whole motion of the university going to go in. But university places alone, and in Derry alone, we've been told that McGee can't expand because the executive does not have the money. That the executive has done all it can. I have to ask, why the Minister announced a meagre, just last year, a meagre 300 places relaxation of Maslin cap for McGee, and the executive agreed with that. And I say very pointedly, what happened to the 2 ministers from Derry, executive ministers, who at election time across my constituency was telling us all that McGee expansion has been guaranteed by Sinn Féin, because that's what they were telling us at the Assembly elections. What did it mean? A guarantee must mean what I had thought it was being delivered, and certainly they failed in that. The 500 places now planned as part of the executive's 200 million from the executive for STEM courses need to address the fact that people cannot stay at home to study particularly in the northwest. I am calling them very clearly on behalf of the Assembly Group to allocate their places to the University of Ulster, and for the University of Ulster to stand behind Magee by giving the campus, that particular campus, all those places. I want to give members some figures in relation to enrolments at Magee. In 2011, Magee received 5,786 applications by the University and Colleges Admission Service, of which 472 were from the north. A handful of those, a quarter of those, 1,011, were accepted. 700 and odd were from the region. So Magee campus and Derry had to reject 4,675 applications from people in Derry that year alone. And almost 3,500 of those applications were from within the Derry City Council area. And I say, members, within the one plan for the city, it's a main priority, the key economic driver to the northwest. But yet again, we have the executive failing. When the executive approved the one plan, the office of the First and Deputy First Minister approved the one plan, they are still failing us by not delivering what the promises were. Around one-third of our students in this region study elsewhere for good reasons, may I add as well. Even less return, unfortunately. The one plan, as I said, asked for 1,000 full-time places in Magee on top of the current provision. Others say they stand up for Derry. I would like to know where they stand up. That they are managing responsibly our economy, I beg it differently. What we have to remember is that Queen's University, a fine institution, had also had their share of the 1,000 places last year. They never asked for them. They never made a business case for them. Where Magee, the minister insisted that Magee made a business case. You know, I spoke to senior officials within Queen's. So there was a balancing act done to undermine the bid that was made in the one plan for Magee. That is not addressing need, and it's certainly, members, not equality. We will continue to challenge that, and will continue to fight without fear or favour locally, and in the Assembly to ensure Magee and other institutions are given the resources that they need to assist in the regeneration of our communities, to provide learning opportunities in line with the widening participation strategy, a strategy that our party has championed, and to boost the economy in the long term. Members, I ask you for this support on a most important subject matter for the City of Derry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark. Who's seconding motion number 6? Mark Hedgesberger. Mark, thank you. You want to speak to it? No. Any other speakers in this section about getting more higher education places in Magee College and Derry? If not, can we proceed to a vote, please? Those in favour of motion number 6? Thank you. Those against? Thank you very much. It's passed.